Hello children, welcome to our science session. In this session, let's revise about our science chapter number 4, metals and non-metals. And till now, in last session, we have revised about physical properties of metals and non-metals and chemical properties of metals and non-metals with respect to reaction of metals and non-metals with oxygen, water, acids and bases. Now let's continue our revision about displacement reaction. So what is displacement reaction? Displacement reaction is a chemical reaction in which a more reactive element displaces a less reactive element from its compound. So this you should know. Which element to be replace which element, that is more reactive element, it displaces a less reactive element from its compound. So in this reaction you will see one compound and one element separately, and so less reactive element it is displaced by a more reactive element from its compound. Or you can tell a chemical reaction, displacement reaction is a chemical reaction in which a more reactive element displaces a less reactive element from its compound. Example, reaction of iron nails with copper sulfate solution. So here you can see iron is a metal and copper sulfate, here it is a compound. So in this compound copper sulfate, if you see, copper is a metal. So you have to compare these two metals, iron and copper. And iron is more reactive than copper. So iron will displace copper from its compound, that is copper sulfate solution. So let us revise. This is very important. So let us revise this with examples. So first you should know the reactivity of element in this order. That is, for you only you should know about 3 elements or 3 metals in the order of that is descending order of its reactivity. Zinc is very reactive than iron than copper. That is, zinc is more reactive than iron. Iron is more reactive than copper. And if you see, copper is less reactive than both zinc and iron. So this you have to keep in mind. Zinc, iron, copper. And so let us revise some more examples how the question will come for your online exam. So first reaction, if you see, zinc plus copper sulfate. That is zinc plus copper sulfate. Here you have to first note down which is a compound. Compound is a copper sulfate, isn't it? And then in that compound, what is the metal present? Copper. So you will compare this copper with zinc. So zinc, as we know that it is more reactive than copper. So what it will do, it displaces copper from copper sulfate. So what will be the result? Copper, if you remove copper from copper sulfate, and zinc will be replaced with that. So zinc sulfate plus copper you will get. So zinc plus copper sulfate gives zinc sulfate plus copper. The same way iron plus copper sulfate. So here compound is copper sulfate. And if you have to compare iron and copper, as we know that iron is more reactive than copper, it replaces copper from its copper sulfate solution. So you will get iron sulfate plus copper. And next, zinc sulfate plus copper. Here compound is zinc sulfate and copper. And if you compare zinc and copper, as we know that copper is less reactive than zinc, so it cannot displace zinc from zinc sulfate. So what you will write, if the equation gives and you have to select, there will be no reaction. So always more reactive element only can displace a less reactive element from its compound. So next, iron sulfate plus copper, or you can give copper plus iron sulfate. And if you compare iron and copper, copper is less reactive than iron. So it cannot displace iron from iron sulfate. So you have to write no reaction. Zinc sulfate plus iron. Compare now zinc and iron. Iron is less reactive than zinc. So it cannot displace zinc from zinc sulfate. So again, there will be no reaction. So children, this way you have to keep in mind, and for your exam, if such type of question comes, you have to be very careful to select the answer. That is, always you have to compare two elements, that is more reactive element can displace a less reactive element from its compound. Now again, see, zinc is more reactive than copper. So zinc plus copper sulfate, and here as zinc is more reactive than copper, it displaces copper from its compound. So copper will be displaced by zinc. So you have to remove copper, and then in that place zinc you have to write. So it will become zinc sulfate plus copper. And the same, the activity, if you see that the compound of copper sulfate is blue in color, and after zinc is silvery white in color, and after the reaction takes place, the compound of zinc, that is zinc sulfate, the blue color will become colorless and the copper will be deposited. So next, copper plus, but in case copper plus zinc sulfate. So here the compound is zinc sulfate. What metal is present there? Zinc. And copper, as we know that it is less reactive than zinc. It cannot displace zinc from its compound. So you have to write there is no reaction. Same here, copper sulfate and iron. Iron nail, if you put in copper sulfate solution, copper sulfate is a compound. Iron. Iron is more reactive than copper. So it displaces copper from its copper sulfate. So in that case, you will get iron sulfate and copper. So the color of the solution, copper bluish color of copper sulfate will turn into greenish color, and the copper will get deposited on that iron, that is brown coating on the iron. So the color will change. If this activity is shown and you have to write, identify the chemical reaction, you will write, you will mark displacement reaction as a correct option, and name the color change. You will mark that blue color of copper sulfate turn into green color shows the presence of iron sulfate. So that all options will be there. You have to click the correct option. And the same way here, see, first beaker, copper sulfate plus zinc is there. So copper sulfate, copper and zinc. Zinc is more reactive than copper, so it will displace copper from its compound. So zinc sulfate and copper will be formed. Next, iron and copper sulfate. As we know that iron is more reactive than copper, it displaces copper from its copper sulfate. So you will get iron sulfate and copper. And third one, zinc sulfate and copper. As we know that copper is less reactive than zinc, so it cannot displace zinc from its compound. So you will write no reaction. Iron sulfate and copper. If you compare, copper is less reactive than iron. It cannot displace iron from its compound. So there will be no reaction. And in beaker E, zinc sulfate plus iron. Iron is less reactive than zinc. So it cannot displace zinc from its compound. So there will be no reaction. So always children, you keep in this order. Very highly reactive zinc, then second is iron, then copper. So zinc, iron, copper. So in this way, you keep in the metal in descending order. More reactive zinc, then iron, then copper. So always more reactive metal displaces a less reactive metal from its compound. And now we'll discuss about uses of metals. Uses of metals, as we know that it is as due to that physical properties of ductility, malleability, conductivity, etc. Metals are useful for us in various ways in our day-to-day life. And non-metal, as non-metal is essential for our life, which all living beings inhale during birth. So this type of question may come. Who am I? The non-metal which is essential for life, for all living beings to inhale during breathing, what you will choose? It is oxygen. Non-metal used in fertilizers to enhance the growth of plant. Which non-metal is used in fertilizer? Nitrogen. Non-metal used in water purification process? Chlorine. And purple colored solution which applied on wound, that is a non-metal. As antiseptic, you can write iodine. Non-metal used in crackers? Sulfur. So let us see. So this way you have to keep in mind. And uses of metals, that is due to malleability, ductility, and it is used in making machineries, automobiles, trains, aeroplanes, etc. Due to the property of malleability and conductivity of heat. It is used in cooking utensils, water boilers, etc. And making it is also used in industrial gadgets, satellites, etc. And non-metals, which are name the non-metal which is essential for life? Oxygen. Name the non-metal which is used as fertilizers? Nitrogen. Main important nitrogen. Then phosphorus. Also you can, if phosphorus option is there, you can click phosphorus. And non-metal used to purify water? Chlorine. And non-metal used as an antiseptic solution, purple colored solution, that is iodine. Name the non-metal used to cure wound, which is purple in color? Iodine. Name the non-metal used in crackers? Sulfur. Okay, children. So now next let us continue our next chapter, force and pressure. So children, in this chapter also we are going to revise all the main concepts. If you know these concepts very well, you can easily find out the correct answer from the given options. So first, force. What is force? A push or pull on an object is called a force. So force is only a pushing force? No. Only it is pulling force? No. Either it may be of push or pull. So you should know this. Push or pull on an object is called as force. And what type of force you can observe in this given figure? It is a pulling force, isn't it? So pulling force. So you should select the option pull. And next we should know about effects of force. Effects of force. What are the outcome of force? What all we get due to force applied? Force, it make an object to move. It make the it change the speed of a moving object. It change the direction of a moving object. It change the shape of an object. So this all four you should know. So what are the effects of force? They may be give. Effects of force are make the object to move from rest, speed, change the speed, change the direction, change the shape, and all the above. So what is all the above you can choose. So it is up to that what question and what answer you have to carefully go through all the options given and you have to select the correct option. A force may make an object to move from its rest, change the speed, change the shape, change the direction of a moving object. And then we have to know about types of forces. Types of forces, contact forces and non-contact forces. So contact forces, forces experienced by bodies when they are in contact with each other, touch with each other, physical. When you push the box, you apply the force. When you touch the box only, the force is being felt on the box. So it is contact force. So we can tell muscular force is a contact force. And frictional force. So what is friction? The movement, the force which acting in an opposite direction of motion is called as friction. So frictional force also, when it is touched, the surface of the box and the floor, when it is touched, that is Then what is that? When you apply the force, the friction acts in an opposite direction. So frictional force, we call that as contact force. So contact forces, two examples, muscular force and frictional force. So you may ask this, when you push the box, what type of forces you can experience here? Contact force, non-contact force. So which option you will choose? It is a contact force. So when you push, we always be in contact with the object to be pushed. So it is contact force. Then coming to non-contact forces, forces experienced by bodies even if they are not in physical contact with each other. So examples of types of non-contact forces are magnetic force, electrostatic force, and gravitational force. So magnetic force, if you keep a magnet without touching it above the magnetic substances like iron filings and all, without touching, you can see that all iron filings get stick with the magnet. So it makes the iron filings to move without touching it. So it is an example of non-contact force. The same, so force exerted by a magnet is called as magnetic force. Magnetic force is a non-contact force. Electrostatic force, force exerted by a charged body on another charged body. So what is electrostatic force? Force exerted between one charged body and another charged body is called as electrostatic force. It may be of charged and uncharged, or it may be of between both charged bodies. It's called as what? Electrostatic force. And gravitational force, the force exerted by a surface of the earth, is called as gravitational force. It is an attractive force exerting between two objects. It's called as, when you throw a ball up, automatically after reach some height, automatically it comes down due to force of gravity. So that is gravitational force. It even this without touch, ball is being touched with the surface, isn't it? So it is an example of non-contact forces. So children, here you should know about types of forces, two types, contact forces and non-contact forces. Contact forces, muscular force and frictional force are contact forces. Non-contact forces, here we have studied about three different types of non-contact forces, namely magnetic force, electrostatic force, and gravitational force. So question may come this way: when you keep a magnet near the pieces of iron filings, we can see that iron filings or iron pins get attracted by a magnet. What type of force you may experience? Here you can write magnetic force, or it is up to the option given. If it is option between contact and non-contact, you will select non-contact force. If the option given magnetic force, muscular force, you have to select magnetic force, isn't it? And when the fruits, leaves, everything which fall from the tree, what due to which force? It is due to gravitational force, isn't it? It is due to gravitational force. And then so next, what is that? We are going to revise about pressure. Pressure, as we know that it is nothing but pressure is equal to force upon area. So in this session, we will revise only about liquid pressure, and then next session we will be revising about pressure exerted by solids and gases. So liquids exert pressure. So what is pressure? Pressure is nothing but force acting on an unit area is called as pressure. So liquid also exert pressure perpendicular to the base of the container. And you should know liquid exert pressure on the walls of the container. And liquid pressure remains the same in all the direction at a given depth. And liquid pressure increases with increasing depth inside the liquid. So first, liquid pressure exert perpendicular to the base of the container, isn't it? From the top to bottom, it perpendicular to the base of the container. It exert pressure on the walls of the container. It exert equal pressure in all the direction at the same depth, and it increases with increasing depth. And if you see here, so as we know that pressure increases with depth. So you can see that the hole at the bottom, if you see the depth is very more. So it has high pressure. So the water comes from that bottom hole will be, it cover a larger distance than the second hole, which has a less depth, and then first one is a very less depth, isn't it? So the pressure increases with depth. So the speed of water leaking from the bottom hole is larger than that of the higher one. For children, so always liquid pressure, it depends, it increases with the depth. So the bottom one, it has more pressure, and then the second one, and then at the topper one. That is why in our this house, the flat which is at the ground level, or first floor, second floor, third floor, if you compare, when the water is being opened, which house that the water pressure will be more, that is first floor, isn't it? As because the water, it has deep pressure, that is depth is more than compared with that of fifth floor. Then at the top seventh floor, the water pressure will get less. So so the liquid pressure increases with depth. So children, and what these are all important points you have to remember regarding force. Force applied on an object in the same direction. So if you apply force in the same direction as the object moves, it add up to the another both the forces. So if you are also pushing a box in the same direction, your friend also help to push the box in the same direction. So both the forces will be add to each other, so that force will be more, you can push the box easily. So forces applied on an object in the same direction add to one another. Got it? And if the force acting in the opposite direction, suppose you are pushing a heavy box and your friend push the same box in the opposite direction. So can the box can be moved? No, because both the forces are acting in an opposite direction. So the net force will be the difference between the two forces. If you apply more force, then the box will be moved the direction of the way you push, isn't it? So both the forces acting in an opposite direction, the net force will be the difference between the two forces. And how the strength of force is being calculated, what is called as the strength of force is called as magnitude. So what is the strength of force? Strength of force is called magnitude. And also we have to specify the direction in which the force acts. Therefore, force has both magnitude and direction. So for force, two characteristics are very, very important. One is strength of force, and the next one is the direction where it is the force, the direction in which the force is being applied. So the force has both magnitude and direction. What is magnitude? The strength of force is called as magnitude. How much force you are applying, as well as the direction where it forces you are applying the force. Both are very important. So force has both magnitude and direction. For children, so in next session, we will be revising about pressure exerted by solid and gases, as well as some important diagrams which are very, very important among all three chapters for your exam. Thank you.